Yeah. Welcome to West Coast We Active Podcast, number one independent podcast in the world. I need you to go to westcoastweactive.com, number one independent website in the world. Why, you ask? Because it's me, Big Silencer, DJ Heavenly, Jaron Draws, and the whole family. Tune in, stay active, don't miss out, get some merch, freshen up. Summertime's coming. We need to stay busy. Much love to y'all. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all that good stuff, and get at me. Yeah.
Good silence. What's good, my man?
American Cholo.
We're in the building. How about we in the building? Let's do this.
We got the man, the myth, the legend, everybody. American Cholo, Mr. Gill himself. How you doing this, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for the invite, Silent.
No, I appreciate you, man. I know you're a busy man and you're doing your thing right now. You're out here wiggling and grinding and you're staying active. And I appreciate you for what you do. You're a voice of the people. You're an activist, man. You're a living activist. You don't see many of them out there these days. A lot of people hide behind the vocal and not enough action. And you're a man of action.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, most people nowadays, they hide behind the keyboard and complain, carnal. But when it comes down to actually getting out there, a lot of people just don't want to do it because it's just not, I don't know, it's just not trending or what it is. But we'll make it popular. People be out there, man.
Well, before we get into the introduction, what do you think it is about people these days? Like, what do you think, what's wrong with people?
I don't know if it's what's wrong with people. I think people's attention are taken away from many issues that's going on in our community. You know, everybody's more into, you know, just TikTok and Instagram to show the Jordans out, to floss. Because one thing I have started to notice going out to a lot of events, what you see on TikTok and Instagram isn't what you see in real life, man. Everybody's got the filters on. Everybody's trying to act like they're flossing, like they got that money. And I see the real, and in reality, no, listen, most people are still in the struggle, trying to make it. And they'd rather have their mind on something else than stuff that pertains to us, I believe. I think that's the problem.
Man, so it's just, and it sucks because it's like a big envy that's building up inside of somebody. When you feel that inside, it's like it must boil up and then they just want to explode.
And it is. That is a major issue in our community. We all struggle for it, myself as well. I can't say I'm not. I at one point in my life don't look at something like, damn, but you gotta check yourself. Like, no, man. I've come to realize that when one of us wins, we all win. And that's a fact, man, because that way we can help other people get to different platforms. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a platform that is for us and by us. And in reality, a lot of people say stuff like that, but they're not doing anything. It's easy to sit there and just say, I'm pro raza, I'm about raza. Okay, well, what are you doing? Like people will sit there, try to talk shit about what I do or how I am, because I don't sugarcoat it. I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again here. I am not looking for friends. I've got all the friends I need. I'm not looking for homies. I got all the homies I need. I'm not looking to make acquaintances on YouTube, Instagram, so I could be, hey man, how you doing? No, I'm looking to spread a message and awareness in our community about stuff that's going on and how we can come together as a force and actually do something with this.
Man. So what are some of the steps that we could take as a people to actually make something happen? Because I see so much hate. It's actually turning to where there's more like the killing starting to come back really heavy again in the streets. People are just so fucking angry. I don't know I know it's not the heat because the heat ain't kicked in yet.
No, the killings in the street and all that is coming from the aftermath of the BLM protests and all that stuff, where police officers were villainized. The system was villainized. That the system is just to bring us down, put us down. So what happens is cops all took a step back. Cops stopped policing the streets. You got DAs like Gascon in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. They just recalled that DA too, especially like in California. Police stop enforcing the laws. Loitering laws are not enforced. The norm now is people in the streets doing drugs. And what that did, that perpetuated youngsters coming out of junior high, and especially during the time that there was COVID, they weren't going to school. So what are they doing? They're hanging around with their homies. They're bored as hell. What do they see? They see the Cholo guys who got it going on. They're getting high. They don't give an F. They're doing their thing. The cops ain't messing with them anymore like they used to. So what? it's easy to get into a gang. So what happened is it exploded out here in my neighborhood. I live in North Hollywood. Gangs exploded, homie. Everywhere you see now, there's graffiti. There's shootings every weekend out here. People are dying out here, and some people will sit there and believe that no, gangs ain't like that, Gil. I said, I don't know where you live, homie. Here, people are getting shot, people are getting killed. And unfortunately, it's going to continue to happen, especially if we don't get a hold on it, because this is like 1988, 89. This reminds me of. Those were my years. I joined the gang in 1989, right? This is exactly what it reminds me of. It reminds me of when the gangs were just peaking and then the 90 kicked in and boom, it went through the roof. And that's kind of what's going on right now.
Man, that's fucking crazy, dog. Because, you know, it's weird because I have OGs that told me stories. All my homies are locked up. All my homies are dead. But I look at it like this, like all my homies are locked up and a lot of my homies are dead or fucking dying. And it's all from some stupid street shit.
Well, yeah, that's the thing though. Okay, when we were younger, I'm not sure how old you are. I'm 47.
I'm
When,
33.
when we were younger, we used to look at these older guys, and we used to really, really idolize them and respect them. That is kind of gone because we've kind of seen where they ended up at. Most of the guys that we idolized and respected, let's be frank, homie, they're fucking tecatos, cartan. That's what they end up turning to. They go to the prison. After that, they come out doped out. But now the crazy part is that it used to be where homies would go to prison to become tecatos. Nah. Now I got homies as early as 16, 17, 18 years old shooting heroin, homeboy, thinking it's the dopest thing in the world. And they're actually shooting heroin before they go to prison. So that's why now you also got homies in the block that are intense. You got homies on the main street. My wife and I just came from Costco. We're driving down Victory and Violent over here in North Hollywood, right? You got two Cholo guys out there in their tents. What are these vatos doing? They got their ropa, homie. They're folding their clothes. These fools act now like they're in their living room, literally out there, but they're on the calles. The shame has been taken away. There's a phrase in Spanish, vergüenza. No tienes vergüenza. You know, you got no shame. Nowadays, there's no shame, homie. There's no shame in the game. You could be out in the tent, shooting up dope, sleeping out there. Tell your hyena to come through. Like, the fuck, come through the tents, but they will. That's the generation of gangs that we have now. They've been so intertwined with drugs that it's destroying the whole fabric of it.
Man, this fucking fentanyl too. That shit's just killing everybody, isn't it?
It's fentanyl, it's heroin, it's meth, it's just drugs in general. I mean, it's the and that I blame the generation from the 70s, generation from the 80s, generation from the 90s, right? All our generations pushed that. When I grew up, we would be, I don't know, like 30, 40 homies on the block, right? This vatos would be doing maybe a little bit of rock. These guys would be doing some coca. These guys would be smoking some sherm, heroin, not so much in my hood, right? But all that other stuff, and I would go with them too. I'm gonna go to this crew real quick. Maybe I'll smoke some dope over here this night. I'll smoke some sherm. I'm all PCP'd out, do a little blow with these guys. But as time progressed, and I even got older, when I got like in my 20s in the hood, I stopped doing drugs. I used to smoke weed and drink beer, but as far as like meth and all, no, I look down upon it. And a lot of our homies will look down upon that as well. Where if you're acting too much of a fool, you're gonna get a calentada in the hood for getting high. Nowadays, no, man. Nowadays, it's unfortunate that older homies, when I say old, I don't mean my age. I mean older homies that are in their 20s, instead of schooling youngsters to be like, hey, homie, don't use that shit, man. Don't use that dope. Don't use. No, they're like, hey, here you go. Why? Because misery loves company, and they want these youngsters to sit there and get high like them, dude. But if this is what I've said before, if some vato offers you meth, he ain't your homie, dude. Straight up. If you've never done meth in your life and you got a guy that's from your hood and he's trying to turn you out, it's a dirty ass move because he knows damn well that meth is destroying him. But that's what happens. Why? Because especially in a gang, misery loves company, homie. That's a fact. Misery loves company, and they want to see you strung out on meth just like they are, so they don't feel alone because they're selfish. That's a damn shame.
Man, you're so fucking right, because it's funny because one of the people that taught me how to rap where I come from gave me meth for my first time as a kid, and he was older than me.
Right.
And fucking he was all doped out, but when he was around other people, he tried to say, I don't want to catch any of you guys doing that shit. So it was like contradicting himself all the time. He's telling us not to do it, but he's giving it to us on the low and doing it when we're alone and shit, getting all high and mobbing around.
And Big Javi, homie's trying to numb the pain. It's this trauma that needs to be addressed. Yeah, there's trauma in everything. There's trauma in life. You could be working Beverly Hills, there's trauma. But the amount of meth use, the amount of drug use, to just sit there and simply say, well, it's trauma. Yeah, but no. At the end, it's motherfuckers just want to get high. They want to party. I used to do meth, homie. I used to smoke meth. I used to smoke. I used to do heroin. You name it. I used to get high. I used to live on the streets. That's what people sometimes don't know. I used to live on the streets weeks at a time. Why? Because I would go home. My mom would say, hey, there's a curfew. I'm like, pretty much, I wouldn't say fuck your curfew, but pretty much I would say, fuck your curfew, dude. So she would say, well, get to stepping. I'm gone, homie. And I would go out there and I would smoke. I would get high. But it came to a point where you got to make that decision. And to have a grown man now say, "Oh man, I'm doing meth at the park with a bunch of other tweakers out there. It's because I got trauma." No, it's because you don't want a responsibility. You don't want to man up, and you don't want to sit there and get sober. Because why? Because we continue to sit there and baby these guys and give them all this stuff and give them free housing. What do you think's gonna happen? They're Tecato's dream, homie. You get all the money, you get all the drugs, and yeah, do they need help? Yes, but if you're gonna sit there and just say it's because of the trauma, that to me, I'm sorry, that's a cop out, dude. Yes, there's issues that need to be addressed, but the amount of people we have out there, no, man. At this point in time in life, we need to sit there and be like, you know what, homie, drugs are killing us. We need to stop, and we need to stop making excuses. We need to be like men and say, you know what, no, it's bullshit. We just need to plain stop.
I was just telling my wife about that. I was just a lot of people are trying to cop out, coming down off dope and shit, claiming schizophrenia, bipolar and shit like that. Like, nah, dog. My son's schizophrenic, bipolar, and he don't do drugs. He needs a handicap sticker. Couldn't even get a fucking handicap sticker, Gil, and he's shaky by the time he gets in the store. Can't even blink.
You ask. This is the thing. You ask any former drug addict or addict, they're always addicts, right? You ask anybody who was really an addict, who was on skid row, so how do you get off? He's like, whenever you choose to get off, that's when you're gonna get off, homie. And that's just plain and simple. Any addict, until they finally say, I'm tired of living this life, just like the gang life. Just like the gang life, you're going out of jail. One day I was that guy that I don't give a fuck, that I'm in the street banging. And I'm telling you, when I say that, I say it easily because I'm still in my neighborhood. You could still call, hey, this is Stranger from the Hollywood Boys. What's up with this guy? They can run my plate any day of the week. And when I say I don't give a fuck, I mean exactly that. At one point in my gangbang career, I was that one guy in the block that people said, this fool's going to prison for the rest of his life. This guy don't care. Don't be around this guy because he doesn't care. But it took me coming out of jail to eventually say, wait a minute, dude, what am I doing, homie? This is a bullshit life. This is a horrible life. But I figured it out much sooner than most guys, because most guys, it took them to get busted, go to prison for 15, 20 years, and then finally come out now and say, oh, man, this is bullshit. Well, I've been saying this is bullshit for the last 20 years, homie. And people used to think I was crazy back then, but I was still in my hood with my homies telling them the same thing. Hey, you fools are tripping, homie. After being a knucklehead, I figured out, no, this is wrong. So when I say these things, it's not to be disrespectful. I may not come off as the softest guy, and that's why people sometimes get offended by it. But if you go down to the core of the stuff that I'm saying, damn, it's true. I'm not saying it to be an asshole. I'm saying it because I care. If I just sat there and worked like all these politicians, no, we need to give them this. We need to provide all the help, but there needs to be accountability. And the problem is right now in California, there's zero accountability. We will give you everything, but we won't make you accountable. And what does that do? That makes a spoiled child that will just keep on getting fed, keep on getting housing, keep on getting drugs, homie. Because obviously the drug problem in California, has gotten worse. You can put 1,000 hospitals with 1,000 therapists in those hospitals. If the guys in the streets, the guys and women on the streets do not want to go into those hospitals, they're not going to get therapy. So all that about, we need to come at the community and say, hey, dude, this is the dumbest thing we're doing. We are poisoning ourselves, and that's what's going on in our neighborhoods, man.
Yeah, most definitely. I spiraled out of control. I lost it all. I've been homeless. I've been on drugs, but I made it out. You know what I mean? And now I'm taking care of a family. I'm doing right. So I'm a testimony. I can say it could happen.
Now, when or why did you get off drugs?
I just didn't want to do them no more, and like I knew I had a responsibility with the music and shit. Like I didn't want to be one of those sloppy ass musicians just fucking dying one day from drugs. I have a lot of fans that rely on me, and people that rely on me to help them with music in the world. So I'm not trying to lose my life. And plus my mom, could you imagine her? I picked up dead bodies for like 6 years. I was a mortuary coroner transporter, and I seen all that shit, and I was like, man, I can't be fucking one of these kids. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's right, homie.
So that shit's real, dog. I mean, you're 100% right on that shit. We need to do something to change. I mean, it's not all politicians either. You can't. I mean, we can't just say you got to go vote and this shit's gonna change.
Right. Yeah, we got to do it within ourselves, within our community. First off, it starts at home, right? It starts at home with us as parents breaking the cycle of what we were doing. My family, I would say, well, myself, my brother-in-laws, my wife, my sister, we were all in one shape or form gang members or in the gang community, right? All of us, homie. That's how we grew up, right? But I can say that 95 to 98% of all our nephews and nieces, they're not gang members, homeboy. They are not gang members. I'm not saying they're all college graduates. Some are, right? But they're all now just regular folks, regular kids. We live in the hood. They're not from my barrio. If one of my kids were to try to get jump in the hood, I can guarantee you I'd be on the block. I'd be saying, nah, nah, nah. You're going to jump this fool out. He's not going to be from the hood. And it wouldn't matter if he was from this hood, one of my enemies' hood. You can guarantee I would have gone on that block and said, this fool ain't getting jumped in. You're not going to destroy his life. Because as soon as you join a gang, homie, prepare yourself for destruction. Because that's what's coming. Yeah, in the front, it's going to be all fun and games. But sooner or later, you're going to catch yourself in a world of hurt. And I'm telling you right here, nobody told you, prepare yourself for a world of hurt and destruction, homie. If you join a gang, good luck.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. One of the homies said, "What about the people doing positive for the raza? Can we shine light on the people doing positive things?"
Absolutely, man. Listen, it's a great thing now that also social media, like what I see going on and how we can get involved. I've been more active lately, believe it or not, on Instagram and somewhat TikTok, right? Because it seems like it's easier to reach people on those platforms. And right now, we've been having the issues with the two people disrespecting first the whole Mexican community out here in North Hollywood with that agua fresca, that gym guy, right? That
No,
that
some bullshit.
that dirtbag. And we're gonna go out there on Sunday. We're gonna go out there and make it a Mexican hangout. But when I say Mexican, I mean Cali Mac, all of us brown men, right? We're gonna go out there and we're gonna show support. We shut his place down. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean all of us in the community. I mean Hood Santa. I mean Enamorado. I mean Big Sleeves. Even the guys from Fools Gone Wild. Everybody's coming together and using their platforms to be heard. And that's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm loving. Because why? I've been saying that for the longest, man. This is our power right here, man. This phone, you don't all have to go out there and strike. We don't all have to go out there. This is it right here. You get on that. You get on Yelp. You get on Google Review. You start going to people's businesses, not by striking, by sitting there and putting reviews on them, right? You got this other lady who did the same thing, talking about, oh, you guys only, clean my house. You guys only, are good to mow my lawn. A lot of people feel that way, man. But we're coming together as a community to say, hey, you can't talk to us like that no more. We will not take that blatant disrespect. And that's what we're doing. And we as a whole, we're doing okay. We're doing probably better than most. Individually, yeah, we're doing real good. A lot of us have decent jobs. We're doing our thing. But I will still call people out that a lot of us aren't doing enough to get involved, because our issue a lot of times is, it ain't my pedo. It ain't my pedo. But what we need to understand that, yeah, if you got brown kids, it is your problem, dude. If you got brown kids, we are the ones setting the pace for those children to be where they're going to be when we're our age. And we didn't have that. What we had was the homie on the block talking about, hey, homie, come here, the barrio, wah, 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 wah. Hey, homie, fuck them. That's what we had growing up. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change that narrative where, nah, young man, come here. Listen, man, get yourself a job, work hard, good things will happen. Go to college, get a trade school, get an education. That's one thing they can't take away from you. That is really bottom line what we're trying to push, and at the same time push that, hey, you can't push us around anymore.
Yeah, what do you think about that scumbag trying to make an apology too? Do you think they're learning a lesson? Are we going to accept their apology one day and just let them accept their corrections?
Of course, you have to eventually accept the apology and correction. I think right now it's way too soon. I think right now there's way too many videos coming out of him acting a certain way, of him disrespecting his wife in front of the kids, of him not wanting to pay the lady who painted his whole place, cussing her out. He seems like he's on some kind of roid rage, right? But also he's on a rage that I got money, I got more money than you, and you're less than me. And a lot of America looks down upon us like that. And people think, oh no, Gil, you don't know what you're talking about. I work in rich areas. And when I mean rich areas, I work where houses are no less than $12 million, homeboy. And I see how stuck up a lot of these people are. I see how they do. They look at us just like as the help, right? But at times we are the help, but at times, no, we're the owners. We're doing our thing. I would say I would respect that guy if he comes. I would accept his apology if on Sunday he comes out to the event. He comes out to the event, stands in front of all of us. So I'm sure we'll be talking shit, but we're going to keep it civil. We're not trying to burn places down. We're not trying to break windows. We're not trying to do graffiti. We're just trying to be heard and be respected, right? I would respect the man if he goes out on Sunday and gets out in front of us and says, you know what? I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Then I would be like, all right, at least you're in the right place. But is the lesson being learned? Absolutely. Don't you think? And it's not calling out Armenian community at all, because I know many Armenian people that are cool as hell, just like everybody else. We don't want to sit there and be judged by the actions of few bad apples, right? But the other one was an Armenian lady, right? She did the same thing, talking all that crap. Do you not think that in the Armenian community right now, it's going like Morse code? Tick, 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 tick. Don't say this stuff. Stop talking like this. You guys, look what's going on in our business. These guys are starting to wake up. These guys are coming together. And that is the lesson that needs to be taught. You will not disrespect us anymore. We will not take this standing out. We will not turn the other cheek. We will sit there and fight you properly with what? With our phones. We will sit there and fight with your businesses. We will make sure you will be out of business in our communities, because the majority of us out here in California, we're brown men and women, homeboy. We're gonna get our respect.
Yeah, most definitely. And everyone needs to keep using their phones and keep filming situations like this and put it on blast, because don't be scared to exercise your rights. And that's with the police. That's with everything.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we need to do, because for too many years we were silent, brother. But where has that gotten us? It's gotten us nowhere.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know what's weird about that is that isn't there like an Armenian Trece community out here in Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Like
but that's gang stuff, homie. That would be like that would be like almost, let's say, a Salvadorian guy was talking crap to a Mexican guy. The Salvadorian had money, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, wasn't there an MS community? Yeah, there's an MS community. There's a Mexican gang community, but that's gang politics, and it has really zero to do with what's going on here.
Somebody said you're trying to awaken a sleeping giant. What are you gonna do with this once you awaken the sleeping giant, Gil? What are we gonna do?
Well, I don't know if I am. I'm gonna find out by the end of the year before I pull the plug on this thing. Silent. If we do awaken the sleeping giant, which I hope we do, and that's why I'm in this thing for, we're gonna start having real meetings. We're gonna start having meetings in cities and counties and states to figure out what issues we're having. Hey, man, in other words, we'll be an army and we'll have certain fronts, certain fights. Hey, these people are, pushing us out of our neighborhood with gentrification. We need some rent control. Hey, the wages over here aren't good. Hey, the working conditions over here if we come together, we are the wheels, the gears that turn America. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We can argue and say, oh, well, these people build America. Okay, right here and right now, we are the gears that turn America. We're the ones that put the food on your table. We're the ones that build your homes. We're the ones that pave your roads. We are the ones that keep America moving. And if we can come together as a machine, as a collective, there's no stopping us, homie. We can start getting into the mayor place. We don't even think or talk about, should there be a Calumet governor in California? We're so used to having other people represent us. During the Uvalde shooting in Texas, you don't see anybody on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, PBS, the BBC, any of these major platforms. How many brown men and women do you see speaking for us? Nobody, because this is the sad reality that I've realized, right? When a black man or a white man speak up for them, look at that guy, man. He's a great guy. He's a revolutionary. He's doing this for his people, right? When this man tries to speak up for us, who do you think you are, the Messiah? Who do you think you are, God? Look at this vato. And that's the problem, dude. Instead of sitting here and trying to support and saying, man, this guy's doing something that I wish I could do, or this guy's doing something that is good for us. Instead of seeing that, what do they see? They have envy in their eyes. They have jealousy in their eyes. They start sitting there and putting that. Who do you think you are? Well, who am I? I'm that brown man that is using my platform to speak about stuff that you're too afraid to speak about. I'm that brown man putting my face out there, putting my character on the line every day to speak about stuff that pertains to us. So instead of sitting here and bashing me, why don't you sit there, get behind me, and help me push this boat forward, man? Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the promised land. And that's all it is, man.
Yeah, and I think you should keep pushing that boat, man, no matter what people think. You know what I mean? I don't think you should ever pull the plug on your platform. I think you're almost there to your 100K. I seen you were talking about that the other day, where you said, you know, you feel like you're not getting enough support. It's not moving quick enough. But I've heard Cricket and them say that shit, you know, and it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Everyone wants to stop, you know. I think that's the stigma that we need to break as a people. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight out, dog. You got a light shining on you right now, and it's only foolish because, you know, youngsters, I've even disagreed with you on a couple issues. I've even had to ask, you know what I mean? Like, what was that issue about this real quick? And he checked me on it, and we talked about it, you know what I mean? And it opened my eyes. I'm an open-minded person. I'm not going to sit here and bash somebody, especially you're my own kind, you know what I mean? Like you said, we got to stick together. I've never had nobody help me out, ever. That's why I had to do this shit. You know, nobody helped me with nothing I've ever done. So I get where you're coming from, dog.
But the thing that I'm calling out isn't so much that it ain't moving fast. No, it's calling out us to see if there is a movement, if there is something we can get behind of, right? Because if you put buffoonery up, you're gonna get it. That's unfortunately what people want to see, man. They want to see buffoonery. They want to see some of the dumbest stuff in the world. With that stuff, oh yeah, I'll watch that. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, they don't. And myself, I got a family, homie. I got a wife. I got grandkids. I got a life that I really do kind of miss. This takes a lot of time of my life, period, right?
Mm.
I don't mind doing it if people really want to get behind and do something. But if it's just to watch on YouTube and all you got is all right, Gil, good. Nah, homie. I really want to get involved. I really want to do something. And I think especially with brown people, you got to call them out, homie. You have to call them out, because if not, it'll never happen. Because I've been hearing this same thing. I've been saying the same kind of stuff for 10, 20 years, homie. And, you know, I've said it before. We're at the carne asada. We're talking about it. Hey, man, we need to do something for the raza. Hey, man, we need to start coming together. Okay, well, I'm that guy that finally stood up. I'm putting the flag down and said, all right, dude, let's do this. Let's come together. Hey, I'm over here. Let's come together. Let's do something here. And people... you're not going to agree with everything I say. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. But the bottom message that I'm pushing, how can you argue with that, man? How can you argue with wanting respect for our kids, for our kind? How can you argue with wanting representation for us? Us is this. Oh, no, you're Republican. Screw you. Oh, you're Democrat. Screw you. That's it. That's it. That's it. We're done because one person. No, man, we could sit there and have a conversation regardless of what political party you are. There's going to be stuff that we don't agree on, and it is what it is. But we can come together as a collective for stuff that we do. And one thing we agree on, we all should be respected.
The homegirl right here said, why does it got to be about race? Why can't everyone come together and see how everyone's dividing? I've never been.
The homegirl right there is a troll. She's a I don't know what she is or he is. That's the one that's always saying, oh, American Cholo, you ain't Mexican. Oh, American Cholo ain't Chicano. That was actually the pendeja of the day one day, and I had to block him the other day because I got tired of him. But I will say this. When it comes, why you got to make it about race? What's BLM, homie? That's about race. What's LGBTQ? That's about sexual preference. Yeah. All the white people in the world, they don't got to make it about race because they're in power. Every time any brown person tries to do something, what do they say? Why you got to make it about race? Everybody else is making it about race. Everybody else is making it about sexual orientation. When we start stepping up, all of a sudden, whoa, why you got to make it about race? I didn't make it about race, homeboy. You guys did. We're just trying to catch up to where you guys are at.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm not a racist person. You know, I got a white mother. My dad comes from Honduras, and I grew up on an Indian reservation. So I'm so fucking mixed. Like, it's impossible for me to be racist. You know what I mean? Like, and I know American Cholo ain't racist. He's around so many different people, and he just speaks his mind. He don't give a fuck. So, you know, he just called this girl a bendeja on my show right now. She's a fucking troll bendeja.
Well,
So
that's what it is. I mean, it is. If you want to listen, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'll have a conversation with you, anybody, right? But when you're just sitting here trolling, and like that person is, that's why, like, you know what, dude, I don't got time. I don't feed the trolls. I don't got time to feed the troll people. You block me. If I ever blocked you on my platform, it's because you came out with some stupid ass shit. And you come out with stuff that you won't say to my face. Because I've been around everywhere, carnal. I've been to the Long Beach Super Show. I just came from the Long Beach other thing. I came from Urbicon. I'm everywhere, carnal. I'm very accessible. I'm in North Hollywood. I don't hide where I live. People be like, oh, this is where he lives. I don't give a fuck. I don't know nobody money, homie. And I never did nobody dirty who didn't have it coming. So my life right now, I don't know nobody nothing, homie. And I ain't scared of anybody. And I ain't hiding from anybody. So when people say stupid stuff like that, man, straight chumps. That's what I say.
yeah, and especially like fuck, you shouldn't even have to worry about it. Like we're already grown adults, you know what I mean? Everyone could have a conversation, everyone's allowed to speak their mind. Um yeah, man. I think we just need to really find more organized. Like we need to really come together. Like as I know everyone works, that's why it's hard. Like you can't just plan an event out in LA on a Saturday and say everyone's gonna show up. You know what I mean?
Well, no, no, no. The event that we had out here, right? I put that event together 4 to 5 months in advance, Silent. 4 to 5 months in advance. That gives people more than enough time to sit there and say, you know what? Let me put this on my calendar. The thing is, people don't want to make the time.
Mm.
People want to sit there and just drink beer, eat some carne asada, chill. We all want change, but we are not all willing to put in the work for that change. It's just like this is the same mentality I had as a youngster gangbanging in the streets. I found myself out there putting in work all the time, going out of YA, and I'm like, wait a minute, man, the rest of these fools ain't really banging like me. I thought they were banging like me. And I'm coming out like, all you want is want the hood to be on the map. All you want is want other gangs to fear us, but you ain't putting in no work. It's the same ideology, but now it's for a positive thing. Everybody wants us to be respected. Everybody wants us to be doing better, but not everybody wants to put in that work. And that work doesn't mean that you have to be at every protest. That work doesn't mean that you have to be out there in every rally. But that work means that if something's a few months ahead, put it on your calendar, man. Put it on your calendar. If there's a certain event that's really, put it on your calendar. Make some time, because that time you're making isn't for you, isn't for me. It's for us as a collective. It's for our children. It's for our future generations. And if we, as men and women, don't come together for our future kids, you think anybody else will? Everybody else is worried about theirs. Like I said, BLM, LGBTQ, the Weddles, they're already in power. Who do they nominate for Supreme Courts most of the time? Their own. Who's in senators most of the time? Their own. Who's in Congress most of the time? Their own. That's why they will tell you, don't make it about race. Imagine for a second America was a prison yard, right? Who's got all the tables? The Weddles, the blacks, the LGBTQ. We're 50% in California, and we got no tables, homie. We got no nothing. We got no handball courts. And when we go to tell them, hey, homie, we're deep over here. We got 50%. We want some of these tables for the brown men. What do they tell you? Why you got to make it about race? Well, I'm making it about race, homie, because we don't got our piece of the pie. And what I'm trying to do is help us realize, hey, brother, we don't got a piece of the pie. And a lot of times people don't see that until you start actually mentioning it and say, you know what? This was right. Look at TV. What do you see on TV? Every couple you see on TV is white and black married with a biracial kid. Every couple you see on every commercial is a white with a biracial kid or a gay couple with a biracial kid. You don't see a brown man. If you do see a brown man, he'll be LGBTQ. You don't see a brown man in any movies being an attorney, being a superhero, being a doctor. No, what do you see him? You see Felipe over there real quick with a quick one-liner, and that's it. Why? Because we don't have representation and we don't call people out. And until we do, we're going to still be the big giant sleeping and not doing anything. Bottom of the barrel, homeboy.
Damn, that's cool. How do you feel about the school shootings and all the gun control and situations?
I think it's a travesty that we continue to have our babies. And when I say our babies, this is the kind of stuff that doesn't matter what color they are, right? We continue to have our babies get slaughtered like pigs in the slaughterhouse, like cows in the slaughterhouse. Probably worse, more like in the killing fields. We got kids having their heads blown up, their body parts blown up. You got little tiny babies, 8-year-olds with an AR-15, right? And both parties are too busy trying to fight their agenda of Second Amendment or let's take the guns away. You've got the the right talking about it's my Second Amendment right. Okay, yeah, it is your Second Amendment right. But you know what? Let's compromise, man. Let's make it harder for individuals to get guns in general. Let's make it where people can't get a gun till they're 21. Let's make it to where if somebody goes to buy a gun and they're 18 years old, if they can prove they have their own place with a like a water bill or something, then yeah, they may be responsible. If they can't prove they have their own apartment or house, they need to get the person that actually is the head of the house to sign something off, because that person that had a house will say, hey, dude, this guy doesn't have to have a gun. One. On the left, the problem is they want to sit there and say, we need to take all these guns out of there. No, we do not. At the same time, no. I think people have every right to own an AR-15. I think people have every right to own whatever gun they want as long as they can prove that they're responsible. And that is the problem. You got these guys over here saying we don't want to give anything up. You got these guys over here saying we don't want to give anything up. And what happens? You keep having kids being killed. And all you get every 6 months to a year, and it makes me sick to my stomach, our hearts and minds are with the families. Our condolences are with the families. They are so full of it. And probably until you get a whole school of little white boys to get slaughtered up in Washington where the politicians are at, then somebody might change and say, hey, dude, we need to make some gun regulations. Because what's happening, it's not working, people. It's just not working. And kids continue to be killed. And then some will sit there and say, well, criminals will get guns. Yeah, criminals will get guns. And that is what it is. It's two different arguments. It's apples and oranges. Criminals are killing other criminals. Gangbangers are banging on other gangbangers. Drug addicts are killing other drug addicts. We're not trying to stop that by these laws. We're trying to stop crazy lunatics from going into schools and killing children. It's a big difference.
What do you think we could do to implement more gun? What do you think we take away the guns?
No. Like I said, we don't take away the guns. We make it harder. We implement certain things that, especially if you listen, if you're gonna get an AR-15 or type rifle like that, you need and you're new to buying it. Anybody who's had it, they can have it. They're grandfathered in, right? Anybody who's just coming in and trying to buy an AR-15, you should have to have a special license, just like when you have a car, there's a regular A license, I think, or a C license, and then when you drive a diesel, which is a much bigger vehicle that can kill people if you don't know what you're doing, then you got to go out there and get your A license. You got to take special courses and all that. So I think the same thing should go for those kind of weapons. If you want to sit there and get an AR-15, no problem, but you will take a 2-week or a 2 or 3 weekend course. That way you sit in a room with 20 other individuals, and I can guarantee you those individuals are going to weed out the crazy guy real quick, because he's going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Don't you think we're too far along in technology to be having situations like this happen? There should be fucking chips in our phones that alert us within a rifle within 20 miles of us. Like, I don't know, like, especially at the schools, like the phone should go off. You have Amber Alerts, right?
Yes.
You know, a fucking gun is in distance of this phone. It should go off, and we should be able to blame big tech like Apple or Amazon or something like that.
Yes, but then when you get to that, you're going down a slippery slope. I mean, they already know where you are with your phone and everything, right? But then it goes down to a slippery slope where next I want to know if you got a knife. Next I want to know if you got this. It comes in, and you're now getting into our privacy, right? But I think also, as far as those gun laws, the schools need to be almost like a jail, not even jail, like you're going to court. There has to be one entrance in, one entrance out. The other exits are all emergency exits, right? And there should be at least like 2 police officers there, or kind of cops over there. Let me see. I don't know if this guy froze. Let me see what you guys are talking about over here.
He said, did you say we should put guards in the school?
You're frozen right now, Carnal. Yeah, you froze. What I said is there should be at least 2 cops or 2 armed securities at every school. Yeah, I think we definitely have the funds. If we could sit there and send 40 billion to Ukraine, and then we send another billion to Ukraine, I think we got enough money to send 2 cops to every school. Absolutely. Why don't we take 2 cops away from all these politicians who were saying defund the police? All these politicians say we don't need no cops. Okay, let's take your guard and your security off for you, and let's put 2 cops in every school in the district.
I don't know. I don't want cops walking around the school around my kids. There's already weird janitors and weird teachers around kids and shit. Now we have weird cops that go home, lay on their beds, take off their badge, sniff coke, and drink alcohol and cheat on their wives.
You're coming up the worst and the worst. Now, are you telling me that if there was 2 police officers over there, it wouldn't have helped the situation? I would rather have 2 cops with guns than have a lunatic come in there with an AR-15, because what do? They protect, man. Is there bad cops? Is there bad cops? Absolutely,
How
there's
many,
bad cops.
how many cops were outside that fucking school and go in there and help those kids?
Hold on, you're freezing. You're freezing on me. You're freezing on me.
I said, how many cops were outside that damn school that didn't go in and help those kids?
Yeah, but those were
You could have a million.
those were cowards. Those were the chief of police. But at the end, the INS guys, they're cops. They're cops, whether people want to admit or not. You can't split hairs and say one's a cop and one's not a cop. They're cops. They went in there at the end. At least those guys did what they did. I don't know about those guys. I know LAPD for a fact. They're gonna bust on them fools. LAPD will do their job because at the end, I don't know. We just lost 2 cops in El Monte, right, for domestic abuse. Those were 2 Latino guys. You may see them as evil men. Those guys have families. Those guys, we glorify, we give big praise to gang members that go do life in prison, the pinta, the big homies, this and that. But when you got 2 guys that are actually out there trying to protect and serve, because that's what they do at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they put that badge on, brother, and their families don't know if they're coming back. And those 2 gentlemen lost their lives because some gangbanger fool was met the fuck out, was beating up his old lady, ended up killing 2 people. Yeah, is there dirty cops? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, those guys are doing something that you and I don't do. They go out there and they literally put their lives on the line out for us.
No, I have nothing against good cops, but fucking there's a lot of bad cops out there, dog. Like probably about 75%.
Oh, no. I don't,
There's like 25% good police officers out there, bro, for real. Like, I got put on my knees with a gun in my head, dropping off Cricket's little brother at his house. And I'm not a gang member. Just because he's a gang member, I get pulled over with a gun in my head, almost killed.
Blame it on Cricket, homeboy.
We wouldn't be talking on this show about it. Got my head shot off.
Blame it on Cricket. Listen, I just, and I'm going to make a video on this after this is all done. I just finished going through a murder trial.
Yeah.
My family and I, one of my family members was murdered, right? Not too long ago. We just finished the murder trial. The guy was found guilty. I got so much more respect for the homicide detective that took the case, the district attorney that took the case. My family stood there for weeks going to trial for this dirtbag who murdered one of us, right? And after we had the trial and it was found guilty, we went out, we had some drinks, we had some food. And I told him, I said, you know what, man? I got to the detective, and I told him, you know what? I got so much more respect for you guys than I ever did. And I told the district attorney as well. I said, you know, I never thought I'd say this, but I saw what they got to go through. I saw what they go through a day in and day out, and it's nothing nice, homie. And it's something that, like I said, most of us won't do. Most of us, and like say, when I say us, I mean gang members. What do we do? I mean, we're out there acting a fool. We're acting dumb. We're killing people. We're getting high, and we can get excused, but a cop can't. No. Should cops get prosecuted dirty shit? Yes. Should cops that break the law? Yes. But do most cops? They may not be the most friendly people, but they're. I'd rather have a cop live next to me than some tecato with his homies living next to me. I don't know about you.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know.
You gotta choose one, homie. You gotta choose one. You're either gonna choose the dolphin with his homies or the cop living next to you. Cause I don't know. Fucking Big Sam be doing fucking heroin in his neck. Then
how do you know the damn cop ain't fucking pushing it for the whole city? The fucking Montebello mayor was pushing meth. Cops were pushing meth.
Now you're just going on some Sons of Anarchy shit, fool.
No, it's just real shit though. That's real shit. We look past that shit. Okay, it can't be him, but it could be us. That's not fair.
No. It's very fair. It's like I said, I'd rather be living next to the cop than some fool kicking with his homies outside his house every day. Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a cop instead of a drug addict around my child. You're right. Okay, let's move on from that subject. You're 100% right. I give you that. But fuck, I mean, come on, bro.
I understand what you're saying.
That cop helping your family is an amazing police officer. I mean, the detectives are amazing. They're cracking the case. Those are the people that hats off to them. I watch those shows and I salute a lot of them. Those first 48, all those cats and shit. They're fucking cracking cases, making these wannabe gangsters break under pressure in 3 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, what can I say? But there are those bad motherfuckers. When I was picking up bodies, I'd pick them up out of their house and I'd reach in their pocket. They'd have an 8-ball of cocaine and I hand it to their wife. And, you know, their wife was drinking wine and having a party around. And it's like, what the fuck? He just died. So it's like, you know, a lot of people don't care like you think just because they're in big homes with mansions and shit.
Yes, sir. Let's see. There's no such thing as a good cop. You're absolutely wrong, man. Like I said, it's very easy. There's there you go. Kid Rebo, it's very easy to say that, My mom taught me at a very early age, while she was slanging cocaine, by the way, right? She was a neighborhood dope man or dope lady. She would sit there and say, I hate those cops, but you know what? We need them. They're the ones that keep anarchy from coming up. Having police officers, having a judicial system, having sheriffs, having cops out there stops what? Stops a person like me back in the days from saying, you know what? I don't like you. I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. Or having anybody on the street having some road rage and say, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna blow his brains out. Or going to your mom and pistol whipping her because I want her purse. People are very quick to sit there and think, oh well, F the police. You ain't policing the police. Look what's going on in all these cities that they don't want the cops. Who's policing them? Oh, we're gonna have people go in there and give their nah. When fools are on that trip, they don't care. What stops them? What stops them is the knowledge of knowing if I kill this fool, there's a good chance the cops are going to figure this out and I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. That is what police is us. Police literally stop us from acting a fool, homeboy.
Oh yeah, it's like daddy when he comes around the corner. I always say that's daddy right there and shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, they keep us in check, homie. What do you want?
Yeah, but that they take off their badge and they go home and they're normal people just like us, you know. And a lot of them do bad shit behind closed doors.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah, so fucking, I can't give them all 100% credit. Shout out to everyone that loves the police. Shout out to everyone that don't love the police.
That's right.
Just,
that's right.
You know, just don't keep committing crimes to keep them in office. If you don't like them, it doesn't make sense.
You want police back in the schools, talk to BLM or LGBT because they are the only ones being listened to. And that's what I'm trying to get at, people. They are the ones with the power. They are moving their movement because why? Because most of them aren't arguing about, oh, you think you're all bad. Oh, why who made you speak up? Nobody, man. We're trying to speak up as a collective, and that's why they do have that power.
Yeah, most definitely. But fuck, man, I don't know if I want cops in the schools and shit. Because if there's a shootout, they're gonna end up shooting the damn kids anyways. So it's like I kind of just wish they would shut down these damn schools and start homeschooling. We already look at how me and you were talking right here. This is how teachers should be teaching the kids.
Well, I mean, that's a whole different argument. Me personally, I think the kids should be in classrooms because what's going on is they're getting desensitized from actually just being social with one another. The kids need to be social with one another. Kids need to figure the reality of life, deal with different attitudes, different behaviors, bullying. All that is part of life. When we sit there and try to box our kids into our home and all that, I think you're doing a disservice because life is hard, homie. Life is treacherous, and if you don't have kids ready for out there, it's a jungle out there. It's not the Africa jungle, but it's a jungle out there. And if you don't know how to maneuver, you're gonna get taken advantage of. You're gonna not be able to get a job where you're feeding yourself right. So we are supposed to teach our young how to fend for themselves because that's the end game. Because eventually we're all gonna croak, and the kids are gonna be left fending for themselves.
I don't know. My kids were getting bullied in school. They were dealing with a lot of shit. Like now they're doing straight A's, getting all kinds of awards.
Congrats.
You know what I mean? Like they're doing they're getting more into their talents. They're learning their God-given gifts. I seem like a major blessing from them leaving school, bro, for real. And
I mean, we all have that choice. Corey says virtual learning didn't work out for my kids, especially because they are in special ed. Yeah, I got a homie of mine whose kids the same way, and he told me the same thing. Dude, they got to get him back in school because they're not going to be on a computer, especially if you got a special ed kid. The attention span is so small and so difficult, right? And if you got a special ed kid, they definitely need to be back in school with some teachers that got time to sit there and actually spend time with the kid and get their needs and get their attentions. So I mean, at the end, we have a choice. You can take them out, but me personally, I think they should be in school. But like I said, we all have a choice what we can do.
Yeah, of course. I think it turns down to like just the parents have to work too much and they can't keep their kids home. You know, no one's really there to teach the kids. You know, I'm blessed enough to work from home and be an entrepreneur and run my own clothing line and all that. So right. I get to educate my son a lot, and he has extra classes. We even got his IEP, and they got all kinds of extra teachers for him after school. They have extra like hours for him, and man, he's getting it in. So I think it's working out really great.
That's good, man. Congrats. I love it.
Yeah, but let's move on to another topic real quick. How you feeling about the world right now?
I think that we're on a crossroads right now. This is if we had to give a grade to how America's going, we're probably like a a C minus going to a D here pretty soon. We're gonna we're gonna hit a major recession. I've been saying it for a while, and some people think I'm crazy, don't want to believe, but look what's going on now. I've been saying don't buy a house; it's gonna go down. The purchases of houses have dropped in less in the last 20 years. People trying to get mortgages. The Fed just raised it by 3/4 of a point, which is the highest they've raised it like in 40 years, 20 years. Inflation is at a 40-time high. And what the Fed does is they raise the rate to do this, to slow down the economy. And when people hear this in the news and may not know what they're talking about is if you go in there to purchase a home, it's going to cost you more money to borrow money. That's bottom line what it is. It's going to cost you, if you go to try to buy a car now, it's going to cost you more money to buy the car. If you're going to buy a house, it's going to cost you more money to buy a house. A boat, anything. Your credit card bill, it's going to go up. Everybody listen, that's what that is, right? And the reason the Fed is doing that is because they actually want to slow the market down. They want the demand to slow down. That way inflation will go down. But in reality, inflation is way too high. The only way that inflation will go down is if the market crashes, if we have a recession. And that's what we're in the beginning stages of. The only difference is this is one of the worst recessions we're going to have because we're having shortages in food. We're having shortages in supplies. We got baby formula. When did you think in modern time America would have problems with baby formula? Nobody. Absolutely not. We're having problems with baby formula. You got issues over in Russia with Ukraine. We got issues with oil. We're paying $7 a gallon with oil. So what's going to happen is by the end of the year, you're going to be paying for that carne asada, maybe like 20, 30 bucks. Homeboy. That's reality. You're going to be paying for that chicken, maybe like 17 bucks. All these people that got these houses, they're not going to be able to afford a lot of these houses. It's going to go back into, so you're going to have people like this. This is how the snowball is going to begin. You're going to have people sitting at the family table or on the couch, and they're going to be like, so what do I do this month? Do I feed my family or do I pay that car note? Do I feed my family or do I pay that mortgage? It's going to come to that because a lot of us live paycheck to paycheck, and that's a fact. One hiccup in this whole get down and says the rate is going up. Guess what? People aren't going to be investing that money right now. All the rich people, and that's who makes this thing go. They're looking at their cash. What are they doing? They're doing this, homie. I'm putting my cash to the side. Why? Because now it's going to cost me that much more money to build something. I'm not going to build it. I'll wait 2 to 3 years when this thing crashes. If you look around any neighborhood, there's lots in there that people own. Why don't they do anything? Why? Because they got money. They could sit on that lot for 10 years. So what these rich guys are going to do is they're going to pull all their money out. That's when you're going to see the stocks crash. That's when you see the Bitcoin, everything dropping. And then we're going to get to a point where unemployment is going to go through the roof. Inflation is still going to be there. We could be looking at a doomsday, like a Great Recession. That's exactly what we could be looking. And people just believe because it's America that the lights ain't going to go off, homie. Every great empire has fallen. It's historical. I'm not saying this is that. Every empire goes through some crazy stuff. But the difference is Americans think different. Americans think like spoiled Americans. They don't understand that there's a country down south, Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, that don't live like America. That the rest of the world mostly don't live like America. That eventually this whole thing can come shattering down. 3 years ago, Silent, if you would have told somebody, hey, dude, there's going to be this huge plague that's going to just have everybody on lockdown. The 405 is not going to have any cars in it. It's going to be like, you're going to be like, you're crazy. A plague in 2020, 2021? Nah, that shit happens in the 1800s, 1900s. Look what's happening. And this is the reality. To me, my advice is this, man. Start saving your money. This is the rule of thumb when it comes to saving money. Everybody should at least have 3 months of savings. When I mean 3 months of savings, I mean this. I mean, if you go to a restaurant once a month, you should still be able to do that. I'm not saying you want to do that. If whatever your mortgage is, you should have enough to pay your mortgage, your rent, your room for 3 months. You should have enough to pay your car note for 3 months. You should have enough to pay your Netflix, to pay all this stuff for 3 months. That is the rule. And the majority of people in their 40s, if they've been working, they could have done that. But the sad reality is most of us don't save money. Most of us believe that, again, that this will never happen. It's happening right in front of your eyes. Look at the stocks. Look at the rate. These guys don't know what's going to happen, but what's going to happen is we're going to go through a damn good recession. I remember 2008. We went into work, and they literally told us, "Get all your stuff. The contract's done." And this was big jobs. I'm like, "What?" Yeah, the investors pulled their money out.
Damn.
And people don't believe that. I still remember that. It's gonna happen again. Like I said, people just say, no, it's never gonna happen. Okay, we'll see.
Damn. So a lot of people are just gonna pack up and move to Puerto Rico and South America and shit.
Yeah, we're going to Mexico. Fool. Mexico's gonna have Mexico's gonna have a wall keeping America out of there.
Fuck, I'm gonna help you build that motherfucker. I'm staying here.
Man. Go ahead.
Craig said something real quick. I wanted to say, it's crazy. Ukraine just sent another $1 billion. We talk about inflation, spending that neither party ever fights about sending money out for war.
Yeah, you're breaking up, so I'm gonna read Lalo's comment here. That's the thing, Gil. The economy's not good. That's the lie. Most peeps live paycheck to paycheck, and the rest are in debt. The stimulus money made fake economy. The fish will be richer. Absolutely. All the stimulus money, I got it too, but I say suckers. You know who was a sucker? If you got your stimmy check and you were like, "Whoo, I got my stimmy check. I'm gonna get me the new Jordans. I'm gonna get me this. I'm gonna get me that." You're a sucker because what do? Look how much you're paying for gas, homie. Look how much that food is. We're the suckers in this game, and the politicians keep treating us like suckers, and that's why I try to wake people up. They gave you all this quote-unquote free money. It's like a credit card, and we're paying the debt now. We're paying it in gas prices. We're paying it in food prices. We're paying it in a recession. But they don't lose because what they do, they pull their money out, and they keep going. All that stimulus money was fake money that they literally printed out. So when they printed that money out, the rest of the world said to America, "Oh, that's fake money, homie. Wait a minute." It's like if you're paying Monopoly and I'm the guy in Monopoly, and all of a sudden I start making my own Monopoly money, you're going to say, "No, that Monopoly money is no good." And that's what's going on. And that's why inflation is going through the roof. Why? Because people want to give all this stuff away for free. And it doesn't work like that. There's nothing free in this world, carnal.
Yeah, for anyone that wants to call in, the numbers on the screen. You can go to westcoastreactive.com, go to 626-569-8299. Call in if you want to talk to American Cholo, Big Silencer. We're live right now. 626-569-8299.
All right, let's see what we got. So how's your week looking like, buddy?
Man, it's going good. It's going good. I wanted the cricket to call in. Incredible Javier's on the line right here. He's getting all, he loves politics, man. Anything about politics, that motherfucker's an intelligent person. Did I freeze Cholo?
No, I'm good. We're good, homie. Spino, jump on, but look at the camera. Look at me when you're talking to me, fool. That's what he's telling you, carnal.
Yo. Can you see me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good, fool. You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good, homeboy. Don't listen to these guys.
The U.S. has been spending trillions on war over the last 2 decades, and no one bats an eye.
Yeah, and it's a fact. Nobody says it. They never say there's no
caller.
All right, we got Cesar Verduzco calling in.
1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yo, what up, homie? You're live with Big Silence and American Cholo.
Hey, what's going on, Gil?
What's going on, my man?
I just wanted to chime in on you guys' conversation.
Yeah, talk to us.
So I'm a Mexican from Southern California, and I see, everything going on and everything. And I just want to say, first thing and foremost, I love your podcast. I love what you're doing. You know what I mean? Keep it going. And I'll support you, man.
Thank you, man.
Another thing is, yeah, like you said, man, the economy is going to shit. We have a lot of inflation and everything going on. Man, I suggest all the Mexicans run to Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. No. So I bought my house here in SoCal, and I was fortunate enough to have a farm. I have animals. I have a livestock. I have enough to live off. You know what I mean? I don't need to pretty much live off any the government's going to give me. But everybody else is fortunate. So, what do you suggest as far as like the homeowners? Like, do we sell? Do we rent? Like, what do you suggest as far as
okay, if you're the only reason you want to sell in this market is if you're gonna get your money and take off out of state and get something cheaper, right? Because if you sell in California and buy in California, it's the same thing. You're buying overpriced stuff, right? Or if you wanted to sell and retire and that was it, this is what you're cashing out, that's fine. But if you've got your house prior to, let's say, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, and your house is not that much, I would say stay in there, because anywhere right now in SoCal or North Cal for that matter, if you move out, most people are paying more for a 2-bedroom apartment than people that bought houses years back.
Okay.
And then I got a question for you. You say you got a farm, right?
Yeah.
How much has the feed gone up in do you have any livestock?
I do.
Okay, so that's my question. How much has the feed gone in your livestock compared to a few years back?
So you're absolutely right. The feed has gone up tremendously. $5 per bale. I'm paying double of what I used to pay. So just to maintain the livestock.
Now imagine when those livestock, I don't know if you do it, but that's what I was seeing that on the slaughterhouses. Next, at the end of this year, when those calves start getting older and they start slaughtering them, they're going to be charging us that money. So this means all the food that's going to be coming out in the next 8 months to a year is going to go up in price another 25%.
Damn.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what I'm trying to let people know. This is coming, dude. There's no way around it. The feed is more, the diesel is more, people who have big farms, everything is more, and those people are not going to take a loss. There's some farmers I've heard in the Midwest, they're selling their farms because they say they can't turn a profit. They're out of here. They're cashing out. So there is some major pain coming out there. So to me, I store food, and I mean, people might say, "Oh, you're crazy, dude. Store some food." You never know. This is getting crazy. Remember during the pandemic, you go to a market, there's no food. People forget. Americans have very short memory span. We were literally looking like a movie from Russia back in the 80s, standing in line to go into a market a few months back. But this is going to be worse because the supply seems to be somewhat running out or getting too expensive.
All right, we got
That's right. You're very right.
Thank you for the phone call, my man.
I'm going to take another phone call.
Call from
Mega Man.
Hey, Sally, you know what I do when they call me like that? I press the side button. That way the beep stops. I got the same issue. Don't worry.
Man, it's crazy. You got a lot of people calling in. I'm like, I don't want to cut off their question. Mega Man, you there?
No, let me cut him off. Don't worry. Mega Man, bye. Nah. What's going on, Mega Man?
Oh, come on, Gil.
Talk to us, brother.
I just want to call in because I've been hearing this episode with you guys, and Big Silent, man, I like what you're doing, Gil. You know I always got love for you, and keep on doing what you're doing. I just want to show some love before I go to work tonight, man. I'm going to support you guys. Gil, I just want to say this, and we talked about it at the event in Long Beach, Carlos's event. I see you as an inspiration, and you made me to be the person who I am today, and I have to push forward to show love and show raza, like, hey, man, we're here. I'm going to do whatever I can to push forward in the other direction so our people can be, recognized and everything. And I'll be honest, we are the trendsetters. That's what you said. And I learned so much when you had that meeting. I was there writing my notes. And I remember when you said, you brought notepads? Yes, I want to learn a lot from you. That's right.
Thank you, Mega Man. I think we're losing you.
Are you can hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're chopping up a little bit. I think silence freezing over there. All right, there you go.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I just want to say, man, just from hearing your, when I'm listening to your and everything, I just want to do whatever I can to learn from you and from Big Sounds or from anyone else. To me, to be a better podcaster, a better person, and do whatever I can to help out the community.
Thank you, Mega Man. Appreciate it, man.
That's a blessing. We need more people like that.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I'll do whatever I can. But I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a blessed night. I gotta go to work.
That's
all
right.
This Mega Man podcast. You guys go subscribe and show some love.
All right, later, guys.
Later.
Cricket's been trying to get through too, man. I don't know how to get through when people start calling. It's insane. I got like 6 different calls. If anyone wants to call in, the number's going across the screen right now. I didn't mean to ignore your phone call. It's just I didn't want to cut off the conversation.
Don't worry. I tell people it's like a radio show because a lot of people are like, yo, why something you gotta keep the phone calls going, homeboy. You gotta keep the radio show because if not, you're gonna have somebody sit there for 2 hours sometimes.
I got people yelling at me like, damn, you're skipping my comment and everything. I'm like, damn, I can't even keep up with you, American Cholo. You blew my whole channel up, dog. I feel like I opened up for Nipsey Hussle again and shit. It's old days, dog.
I'm glad. Listen, man, I'm glad. We were speaking off there before. You know, I saw you hit me up, and I'm not saying like I told you. I'm not saying millions of people hit me up, but a lot of people hit me up for podcasts. I really don't do the interview thing because I told my story plenty of times. But I saw you. I was like, no, you got that coming from me. You did the chip challenge, homeboy, when you're on West Coast Graffiti. So I was like, all right, I know this guy real quick. I got you. So this is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help bring people to your channel, let people know who you are, and give you that traffic, homie, which you got good conversation, man. I will tell you that.
Yeah, for everyone that is wondering how I met American Cholo, I'm really good friends with Incredible Javier. That's my right-hand man. We're running the Traviesos show right now. We got the animated series on YouTube. We were doing a little campaign, doing some interviews, and we stopped by West Coast Graffiti's pad, and he made us do the fucking Pocky Chip Challenge. And American Cholo was just happened to be watching that day, and he's like, man, if you finish that chip, I'll donate $100. And I ain't never turned down $100 in my motherfucking life. So he said, oh, make it $125. So I just popped that chip in my mouth, and
yeah, you were burning, fool. Yeah.
I was fucked up for like 3 days, dog. Like, I swear to God, I was fucked up.
Hey, I paid, though. I paid.
And the money came through, dog. So you're a legit gentleman. I appreciate that, man. That went a long way for the Traviesos podcast and the YouTube channel.
That's right. And that's what it's about, man. Listen, man, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what we as a community, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help one another, whether it's, by subscribing, by sharing the channel, by donating, whatever it is we can do. We should not be afraid to ask for help because, that's how we do it. We do it as a community, man. And that's why I'm here to help you out in any way I can, carnal.
Yeah, most definitely. And I like what you're doing. You're building. We got another caller coming in right now. I'm gonna answer this real quick. Oh shit, we got West Coast Graffiti.
Oh, in the building.
Oh, yo, West Coast Graffiti, what up?
Yeah, for butt dialed you, fool. I hear him a little bit back there.
Can you hear him?
Being an advocate for
West Coast, we can't hear you.
Hey, West Coast.
Call him back.
I don't know what happened. The call didn't go through somehow. It just went to like the...
Call him back on your own phone. Let's see. What do you say? American Cholo, you think a lot of people knew this was going to happen? I think many people knew this was going to happen. Yeah. And it happens, this kind of stuff, and I'm talking to Felipe, this kind of stuff happens every so many years. It's just, if you look at the stats, it happens 81, 91.
Man, you don't want to hear the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
Speak your truth, man. Speak your truth. It didn't go through the Roadcaster. I got the Roadcaster Pro. It didn't connect for some reason.
All right. Well, no. What I gotta say is, shout out to Big Silence. Shout out to American Cholo. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said earlier, and Gil from American Cholo for being an advocate for our gente. He's been putting a lot of work into what he's done. He's been putting the message out there. And, that's one thing that a lot of people, including myself, I'm guilty of not being able to do that. But him himself, he doesn't care what anybody says. He's actually putting his face forward and he's speaking for the gente, bro. And, I myself, like I said it a few times before, I don't like to get my emotions in the mix because sometimes, when you speak about situations that are happening in your city, your emotions get they get involved and sometimes you might say the wrong things. But Gil, he's been saying all the right things. He's been pushing a movement that I think a lot of us have to, I want to say follow because until this year, I've actually spoke about things that are hurting my community. And I said it this year. I said, you know what? Because of Gil, I'm doing this. And a lot of people have to understand that the movement doesn't stop with Gil. It starts with Gil. You know, without him moving us forward and pushing us forward, we wouldn't have the voice. We wouldn't have the. I want to say you're the face of this movement, and a lot of people might say different, but you know you are, bro, and that's one thing that nobody can take away from you. And people have to, admire and they have to just push forward and keep this movement going.
Thank you, West Coast. Yeah, I think what it is, regardless of how they may feel about me, they gotta respect it, homeboy. It's plain and simple. They gotta respect it. And I may not be the sweetest guy and tell you I love you and this and that, but I'm telling you the truth, and that's all it is. And listen to the message. That's the thing I gotta tell people. Listen to the message. But you're doing your part. Mega Man's doing his part. We all individually may not make a bleep in the radar, but together, dude, we'll make so much noise. And you can see it with the stuff going on right now with the gym guy and this other lady. We're making noise where you got TMZ out there now posting this stuff. Why? Because we are a huge social media presence. But instead of just putting dance videos out there every once in a while when something like this comes, jump on board, put it on your social media. Even if you only got 10 followers, who gives a crap? That's 10 people who haven't seen it yet, and so on and so on. It'll be a snowball effect where what? Look at these guys, dude. They're coming together, and I think we really are. And people like you are part of this whole thing, West Coast.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we got Incredible Javier on the line now. Incredible Javier, what up?
Big Javi.
What up, gentlemen?
Yo.
Talk to us.
Yeah, I just want to say I commend Gil. I have a lot of disagreements with Gil, a lot of them. It's no secret. We went back and forth a lot of times.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, what I tip out on Gil is he's respectful and he is about what he says. One thing you could never say is he doesn't mean what he says, and he backs it up with action, and that's why I respect Gil. My hats off to Gil. He'll give people a chance when no one else will. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I just wanted to call in and say gracias, Gil, for jumping on the homie Big Silence's channel.
Of course.
Boy, right there for years. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it, G, and much love, Nasty Nick,
my dog,
Nasty
right there.
crew.
That's right. Javi, thanks, brother. Appreciate you, my man.
Much love, gentlemen. You guys have a good one.
Yeah,
that's right. You too. Yeah, Javi's that homie in the hood that you gotta like, man. He's you know what I mean. He's got no hate in his bone. He's got a huge heart, man. He's a great father. And he never gets involved in any kind of YouTube controversy, drama, or anything like that. He's a straight positive guy. Like I said, maybe I could take a little bit of Javi and put it in, shoot it into myself. But I am who I am, and thank you, Javi. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and West Coast Graffiti was right about you being the face of this, because I didn't know about podcasting, none of that shit. I was too busy making music in the studio. Cricket decided he wanted to jump on here and really get on full force, and when you put him on, it just spiraled out of control. You know what I mean? So like it's a domino effect. My boy said that before in the song and shit. Domino effect. He went and now I'm going, and we're gonna push this no matter what. And I'm not gonna let you quit, dog. I'm gonna show up at your shows. I'm gonna start asking you. I'm gonna call you for advice. What can I do with musically? How can I help you in the world out here in my world? That's right. Let me know, dog. My wife does paralegal work. She's into paperwork. She knows how to get those papers through. She can make shit happen for anyone.
Well, that's what it is. We're an army, carnal. We're an army, and we're using when I do this stuff, I'm using, and people, why do you always got to bring up gang stuff? That's how I grew up. That's what I know, right? But now I also, do construction, stuff like that. But we're using the same techniques that we use on the streets. But instead of me going out to you and Javi and all these guys and say, hey, homie, this is the hood. This is what we're going to push. And growing a big old neighborhood like that. No, we're not going to grow that kind of gang. We're growing a positive gang. That's what it's about us. It's about us using our mics. These are our guns. This is our power. Our voices are our power. It's the most powerful thing out there. Media outlets are the most powerful thing out there. The only thing is that most media outlets have an agenda. Because why? Because people pay their bills. That's what it is. So when we can all come together, we're not always going to agree on stuff, but we can come together as men and speak about it, and eventually come to a middle ground. There's certain stuff that I have with Javi that he's changed my mind on. I'm not too too big of a macho guy not to admit it. I have changed my mind on certain things, and I will continue to, just like you guys will. As we get older, your opinions of stuff change because of the experiences that happen in life, and we need to come together with all these podcasts, with all these voices, and start really supporting a lot of these events that are bringing us together, because it's showing that we can come together. We don't fight like we used to before. We're not sitting there shooting ourselves. I mean, yeah, if you go to like a club with 21-year-olds and they're, that's a different thing. But the stuff events that we've been going through, no, man, everybody should be coming to these events because it's family oriented and it's showing that we can come together as brown men and women to support one another financially, keep the money in our community, keep the podcasting in our community, support our community. Because unfortunately, what you got is people supporting other communities. And like I say, why you got to make it about race? As long as your race is getting the money, it's okay, right? But when we try to sit there and say, hey, man, we need to keep the money in our community. Why? Because then our children will prosper. There is nothing wrong with that. Wanting better for your race, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else does it. Does it mean I don't want better for other people's race? Absolutely not. I'll support. But me wanting better for our people, no, man, that's something everybody should want.
Most definitely, and I don't have no hate towards that right there. I want to see everyone prosper. The Jewish community did it, and look, now they run everything.
Man, don't say that though. I'm gonna block you.
TV, radio, you know what I mean? Oh, shit.
The world, baby, the world.
That's why I keep freezing up on here and shit.
You see, Taking Garcia, you're the only one I support, Gil. Most podcasters are too petty to speak out. Well, a lot of people don't know how to speak out. Some people aren't meant to speak out, but to me, it's just share the message. And that's why, like to a lot of let's say big Chicano artists, I've spoken to a few, homie, and they're just scared. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a travesty because all those guys that were BLM'd out the game during the peak of the Black Lives Matter.
No caller.
Oh, shit. I got another phone call, man.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press...
Yo, you're on live with the American Cholo and Big Silencer.
Hey, what's up, man?
What up, brother? How you doing?
¿Qué onda, Gil?
¿Qué onda, carnal?
Aquí nomás.
What
Hey,
you got? Talk to us.
No, like, I agree. Like, I'm a huge fan of American Cholo. Like,
Thank you.
all you've done y todo eso. Hey, you know who this is? El number one mandilón.
Ah, pinche mandilón. ¿Cómo estás, güey?
Yeah, fool.
Talk to us,
then,
old boy.
Yeah. Nah, but, like, for real, like, what you do, like, what you know, I watch you. I don't know you. Like, I don't know you, but I watch you on YouTube y todo eso. And what you did with the community things, like, who else is doing that? That's what I'm saying, you know? And people talk shit about, oh, if you don't reach 100,000, but like, that's what it takes, man. Like you said, it takes, I shot your channel to my brother in Colorado.
That's
you know,
right.
here, look, oh, dang, it look cool. You know, that's all it takes. Like, if everybody does it, but also at the same time, you know, like, because I'm, like, my parents, you know, both of my parents, they're from Mexico. No, ya está trabajando, anda nomás en el YouTube. I'm like, what? That takes a lot of work, you know? You know? And we all know, like, obviously you know, you're, you know, obviously you have, you don't need YouTube. We all know that.
Yeah, show them the pictures of us working construction all day. We're doing both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna show him tomorrow, bro. I'm right here at his house right now.
Who's that?
He's gonna trip out. I'm gonna show him tomorrow though. He's asleep right now because he's gotta wake up at 4 a.m.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure, man. We do it all.
Yeah.
And that's why when people talk crap, bro, I say talk is cheap. What are you doing? And I'm not saying you, I'm saying people in general.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to sit there and talk crap and say, oh, you're doing this, you're doing it. Okay, what are you doing? And most people won't answer that. Most people don't want to have that conversation because most people that want to talk crap aren't doing anything but just that, talking crap.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, Gil, because you're I know you're from Hondureño, right?
Yeah, Catracho.
What the fuck?
Catracho.
That's where my dad's
Oh.
from. That's crazy, G.
What were you saying, Mandilon?
Yeah, Catracho. No, so you yeah, because I know your story, bro. Like,
That's
I
right.
watch your channel. So like, and like, I'm from up, more up north,
Right.
and yeah, I want to bring it back to the whole economy thing because I have I have 2.5 acres,
Oh
and
wow.
I got it for like, but it's not north, it's in the Central Valley,
Okay.
and I got it, and the location is it's cheap for
Right.
for about 340, and now you could only imagine how
Oh
much
yes.
it's worth now.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
dude, yeah. Would you recommend selling or holding on?
If you're a young guy and you bought it for that cheap, no, you're not gonna find any property that cheap. I would hold on to it, right? And what you can do also is you can get a loan against it, right? And or a line of credit against it. And what you do is you hold on to that line of credit. You don't use it. When the economy crashes, which I still say it's gonna crash, then you get that line of credit money and you put it into another property when it's at the very bottom because you're going to get stuff for pennies on the bottom because people are going to be doing short sales. You get yourself a rental property, and that's how people get rental properties and start investing. They get that money from the house that they got and they use that money as collateral to buy another property. But I myself, if you got it for that cheap of a price, you'd be a fool to sell unless you were real old and you were retiring and you were cashing out and going to another state. But no, I would not sell.
Well, I'm 35. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
still
old.
got plenty of time there, homeboy. And by
Yeah.
the time
So
by the time you turn
yeah,
60 or something, that property's gonna be worth well over $1 million something.
Mm.
yeah. But also, we got I got hella goats, bro. I got Chivos, chickens, and the price of the feed and all that.
That's what we're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god, dude!
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, it's getting
It's
crazy, man. It's only gonna get worse, people. It's only gonna get worse. That's two people that run farms.
um,
It's gonna be hard.
yeah. Because when we first got the property, I was getting, like, for example, uh, a regular bale de alfalfa,
Yes.
maybe $18.
All right.
Now $26.
Yeah, there you go. That means double. That's so eventually our food price is gonna almost double. All right,
yeah, and then
Mandilon.
everything's
Hey,
going
brother, we'll,
up.
we'll,
And
we'll
then
catch you on the next one, huh?
yeah, all right, bro. Sorry.
All right, then.
Yeah, no worries, brother. That's crazy.
All right, big science. Someone's past my bedtime, homo. We'll take another one if you want.
No, we're good. We're good, man. I just wanted to. West Coast Graffiti said, "Let's give a big shout out to Jose Santana. Keep his family in your prayers. His lost his son, an officer in a gun battle."
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible. That's about the worst thing that happened to you as a family man. Yeah, prayers out to that poor gentleman and his family.
West Coast Graffiti, you're a hardworking man, and hopefully we could look forward to building like our own platform, platform for you, and in particular to get this ball rolling with all your ideas, because I know social media be shutting everybody off and hacking everybody. You say one wrong thing, you get cut off. So we got to build our own platform.
Well, YouTube's pretty good about that. Instagram, yeah, TikTok, same thing. They'll block you real quick. But YouTube, I one thing I will say about YouTube, you can say a lot of stuff on YouTube, and it's very hard for them to block you out. They'll let you say a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's dope. Well, just hit me up. Let me know what I can do to help, my G, because I really believe in that shit. I think you have the right idea. You're not cuckoo. You're not one of those old crazy men just rocking on the porch talking. You got a good head on your shoulders, man, and a lot of people look up to you.
That's right, man. Hey, man, I want to thank all you guys for coming through and supporting the homie. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel or my channel, make sure to subscribe because that's how you get the message across, man. And other than that, Silent, it was an absolutely great conversation, man. Thank you so much for having me on your platform, my man, and we'll do it again.
Most definitely. Any shout outs you want to give tonight before we get off?
No, not yet. And I'll be at that place in North Hollywood. I'm gonna only be there for like maybe an hour or two because it's Father's Day that day. But we'll be out there. We're gonna have a Mexican hangout because the guy said he doesn't want any Mexican hangouts over there at the gym that the guy was being disrespectful to the lady who was selling agua frescas. Other than that, man, just keep an open mind, raza. Listen to the message. Don't get caught up on the hate. Support one another. Keep it in our community, man. And together, I can guarantee you we will go far. Other than that, we're good.
All right, most definitely. Appreciate you, American Cholo. Have a blessed night, all right?
All right, for sure. Later, Silent.
Good night.
Boy.
Appreciate that, man, right there. For everyone that wants to come out this Saturday, my 14-year-old Jaron Draw's first fine art gallery show in Corona, California. He's going to be selling his NFTs, his artwork over there. If anyone's in the Corona, California area, stop through and show a young man some love. Other than that, we're out. Big sign. It's a West Coast Reactive.com.